Hey, welcome into the Mystery Fifth Hour, as always presented by McCurry Van and Car Rentals. This, to my right, in his newly purchased Rams gear is Lance Taylor, straight from SoFi Stadium. Is that shirt, right?
Yep, it's the only thing I got from SoFi.
How about that?
Yeah.
That is, it was closed when you were there. That's why, though, right?
Well, I mean, they had the team store open. Yeah.
This is Jim Dunaway wearing his Roback gear and one of the most popular Next Round hats we've ever had. I get more requests for that one than any of them.
It's a good one.
John Lunsford is in for Rockstar. We'll explain why in a moment. Lunsford, I believe, has on, is that a Succession shirt you're wearing?
It is.
That is going to tie into what we're about to talk about here.
Guess what? I've got a Succession Yeti.
Succession Yeti and a Succession
yeah.
shirt. So.
It's
Got a Coke Zero.
Do they have Succession.store like we have Next Round.store?
No, my wife got my wife got this off Etsy for me. I have one with Tom and I have one with Connor too. It's like the Obama president poster.
Tell me if you remember these quotes. You can't make a Tomlet without breaking some Gregs.
That's right. That's a very good one.
And this was one of the funniest. I mean, I laughed out loud a million times during the 40 episodes, but why not, Greg? We put a man on the moon. Remember when he was talking about dating that countess or whatever?
That's right.
We put a man on the moon.
Such a good period. The Mystery Fifth Hour is always presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, including trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it easy to rent. They get you in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That is McCurryRentals.com. I'll say this on the front end: if you're a Succession watcher, viewer, and have not watched the finale, you will get tons of spoilers here. Do not watch this until you have consumed the finale. That's why Lunsford is here. Rockstar did not watch Succession. Lunsford did. So we're about to break the whole thing down. But this is your warning now. If you haven't watched it, you're going to want to pause right here and come back to us after you've watched the finale, or it's going to be completely spoiled for you. As always, give us a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed already to our YouTube channel, please do that and follow us all on social media at Next Round Live. Let's just go around the panel here. Start with Lunsford. On a 1 to 100, the finale was a?
Finale was a 92.
92 from Lunsford.
That's 91.
Yeah. That's a solid A. 91 from Dunaway. Solid A.
And I'll tell you my favorite scene and what really got it into the A for me was a meal fit for a king. That whole night of them swimming. And,
that's funny. That was my least favorite scene.
Yeah, my least favorite
See,
scene.
everybody I have seen on social media loved that scene. Everybody on Reddit loved that scene. I didn't hate it. It just didn't add anything to it.
Well, it was just so against what they were.
Yeah, it was so cheesy.
Yeah.
But to me, it was a glimpse into how in this whole series there were moments that they would become childlike mentally again.
Yeah.
Because they've been mentally
because their
abused their
childhood
whole life.
sucks so bad.
But no,
That's
I think they
But
were.
it clearly wasn't true.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole we love each other, let's play with each other, and then, oh, by the way, let's kill each other.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that's how mentally warped they were. They don't even realize how much they're hurting each other. But when it became...
I don't know, Shiv spit in his blender.
Oh, I had a big one too. It made it
That
obvious.
was part of the joke. It was they apparently had done this. I got it anyway. Had done this before when they were kids. A meal fit for a king.
Yeah. I would give it a little higher. I think I'd give it a 95.
95? Mm-hmm. I'm probably somewhere around you guys. I think.
But I went back and watched it a second time. I don't know if you guys have seen it a second
I have
time.
not watched it a second time.
And it really popped. Now, I had traveled all day Sunday. I was exhausted. So I wasn't in a good state to watch it on Sunday night.
Right, so you needed a second viewing.
I needed a second viewing.
Yeah, so I think we would all give it a solid A. And this is incredibly hard to do, is land a good series. It is so hard to do. I think the pressure was taken off this one in the fact that you weren't nobody expected a happy ending for anybody involved. And you didn't get one. I don't know there's a happy ending for almost anybody involved.
There really was never a happy moment in the show.
I would have to agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, even the wedding, you think about Shiv and Tom's wedding, she tells him right after they get married that this is basically an open relationship.
Yep, very much.
And I'm going to bang whoever I want on his wedding night.
Yep.
I finished.
And Kendall kill somebody too.
That's true.
Add a little extra in there.
Which comes back at the final episode. 12:42 a.m. is when I finished, and I texted you instantly when I finished. Not a bad ending. You write back to me at 10:24 the next morning. Not bad, but not great. That was after you watched it the first time. And then you watched it the second time, and it changed from not bad.
I told you,
but not great.
I didn't remember the furniture scene at all.
Oh, such a good scene. And it sets up, all right, so we were going to discuss what you liked and didn't like. We know what you liked.
Yeah.
The Meal Fit for a King was your favorite scene. What was your favorite scene from the finale?
So my favorite scene was the scene after they go through and start putting stickers on stuff, and they go into the kitchen and they see the video with Connor, Logan, Carrie, which is kind of the one that's random part that stands out. I know it was late in his life and he was with Carrie at that point. And then I guess Jerry, Frank, and Carl were there too. When you talk about happy endings, nobody gets a happy ending. I feel like Connor has the happiest ending because he's so ignorant to Willa not wanting to be with him and just with him for the money and everything. But when all the kids sit down and cry during that moment, like they realize, what have we missed out on? Like we really did miss out on everything with our dad, and Connor's there.
And they're all smiling.
Yeah, Connor's there, and they're all having, and like Jerry and Carl and Frank and like the people who had been with him even more than his kids, they were all happy. So that was like the one like feel good scene of the entire thing. And I feel like Connor's the only one that had a happy ending, even if he doesn't get his ambassadorship and the Democratic guy isn't winning. We'll never really know what happened with that. But like he's so ignorant to his wife, but he at least had the moments with his dad too.
And it's so sad that, like, that's the only time, I mean, you saw a softer side of the old man then.
Yeah.
Logan Roy, and his kids never saw that except on that video.
That's right. They're watching in awe, like this is like behind the curtain at Oz. I can't believe this is what he was like.
Yeah, but Connor got to live it in person. Right. And was actually participatory in it.
Right. And he gets all of his dad's best stuff. He gets his apartment. I mean, like Connor actually really ended up pretty good overall. I mean, he wasted money on his marriage and that stupid play. He wasted money to run for president.
I think he overpaid on the plays because she gave it up quickly.
He did, but he still got it in the end.
But outside of Logan, the most intelligent character the entire series, I thought, was Lucas Madsen. I mean, he absolutely played everyone the entire time. He was always cool and collected about it. He always had his angles. And it just took one little thing to see him on puppet strings and that illustration with Shiv running him for him to flip what he was going to do.
Yeah. Almost screwed it up, though. He came very close to screwing it up. He didn't realize Greg was recording
Greg's the smartest person on the show. Number one, he's had to blackmail the entire the length of the show. He's done whatever he needed to, as annoying as it is, to get what he wants. But that was the smartest thing anybody has ever done on this show, is when he pulled his phone out and started doing that translate. I don't know if in real life you can actually translate stuff that fast and get that done, especially in a crowded bar.
Seen
but it
that
works.
app before. Yeah. But that was pretty smooth. But I mean, and
to play both sides and still be there at the end too, because Tom knows this is my only friend. Also, Greg physically just reached out and slapped Tom in the bathroom too. And it's like, after all that, Greg's still there, and Greg's still a part of all this. And he has played everybody. He's played both sides the entire time. And has still gotten everything that he's really wanted.
He was going to land either way, no matter.
I was waiting for Madsen to give Greg the company at the end, just as like a middle finger to everybody. Like, you all hate this kid. I'm going to let him be CEO.
He called him Judas.
Yeah. But
Judas is here.
But Judas was there. He's still there. It's like, Greg has gotten everything despite being Judas.
No, but I think Tom just needed that not force, but that spirit of Greg around him. He needs some familiarity.
Yeah.
And that's why he said he still had him. But I thought with Madsen sitting there with Tom coming up for his third hanging, and he was just sweating balls about losing his job. And then for Madsen to say, because that was like the biggest curveball that maybe in the entire series for me, is he's like, why not have the man that put the baby inside instead of the baby's lady or something?
Such an awkward scene before that. There was like, I could probably sleep with her if I wanted to, and I think she would sleep with me too.
Yeah, I kind of want to have her. Yeah. And he was like, really?
He was like, no, we're both men. He was like, does it make you uncomfortable? No, we're both men.
Tom is so, I mean, and it led to what my favorite scene was. Like I said, I did not like.
Was that the biggest curveball for you guys in the series, though?
I swear I thought we wrote him down. That's who I thought would end up with it. And I texted it to either you or Lunsford or Brown that.
I don't know how
we talked about doing a pool.
We talked about doing it. So Tom is who I was going to go with because of how the old man reacted to him when they were at the wedding and they set up that camp, and Tom is the one that flipped on the kids and walks in at the end of season 3 and, oh, you're the one that screwed us. And the old man I felt was going to love him so much. I didn't think the old man would die.
Yeah, see, if Logan was still
Yeah.
alive, I thought the same thing going into the season. He's
Right.
going to give it to Tom, tell all the kids, screw off.
Right.
Plus, Shiv kind of gets part of it if I give it to Tom.
That's right.
That I'll give it to Tom and tell them, tough, y'all are out.
So
I didn't know the Swede would give it to him.
Yeah, it led to my favorite scene though, when Tom pulls the stickers out and puts one on Greg's forehead. It like so encapsulates that relationship. Like Greg is Tom's
But
property.
I got you.
Yeah, you're my property. I got you, but you're my property, and I'm claiming my property. I mean, I just thought that was
He said
so
you're going to
perfect.
get decimated on salary. Okay, so $200K might be a lot for a personal assistant.
No,
but
but I thought that was low.
company, I
Yeah.
thought it was low too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his grandfather is, he's going to inherit a ton. Or he's going to get a ton from the sale, the grandfather is.
Yeah,
He's going back and forth on whether or not Greg will ever get any of that money.
He's
Yeah.
going to give to Greenpeace there for a while.
Yeah, it's true. He
I
wasn't
was a little surprised that he voted nay.
See, he so bad wants to go against Logan, and he's so bad I think just wants
Yeah.
to get rid of the company that or no, he's so bad wants to go against Logan and keep the company because Logan didn't want to.
wanted to get
Logan
rid
was
of it,
trying to
yeah.
sell it. That look, I'm gonna go against him. I'm gonna vote.
Yeah,
no on
and your
this sale.
favorite scene, I thought it was interesting because the Roman character to me was great this season. And I think after the meltdown at the funeral, that character, I don't want to say he changed, but we didn't get the same Roman that we got for the first 3.5 seasons.
Oh, in what way? I thought he was very broken at the end, and
But he always had that arrogance,
Yeah.
like I'm smarter than everybody in the room. I'm gonna just do whatever I want to.
He
and
showed
like,
weakness.
that
Yeah.
For the first time, he legit broke down
Yeah.
at the funeral, and then
Right
in
when
thi-
he
in
got
this
as
one-
strong as he ever was,
he
or
got
it seemed
demasculated.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that brought him back down. But, he asked, who do you think Dad wanted to take over the company? And she was like, I don't think he wanted any of us. And that's ultimately what happens.
Yeah. So I read a couple of thoughts on this. That number one, Roman saved Kendall from becoming Logan.
Yeah, but I think,
Or really Shiv did, I guess. Shiv really saved Kendall from becoming
by the way,
Logan.
Yeah.
Kendall, and he said it was more out of desperation that, like, this could end me. This is the only thing that I'm fit for.
Right.
And then you saw kind of, and I thought it was great because the first ever episode went from Kendall, headphones on, listening to hip hop on the way to the office thinking this is the day my dad retires and I take over the company. And his dad, just to completely fuck him, decides, I'm not going to retire yet. And so then the last scene is Kendall, where it's right there in his hands. He loses it. So it was so close in the beginning, so close in the end. But after his dad said he was coming back in the first episode, I don't know if you guys remember, and I forgot, I think it was Jerry who was up on the top of the building, and she's like, don't jump. So then you see him looking out over the river.
Yeah.
And it's almost like foreshadowing that, we thought for a second that maybe Kendall in that season 3 had floated off a raft and drowned.
Yeah.
I just think it's inevitable that Kendall's not going to be around long.
Well, that's
in
how,
rehab, when he was going to rehab after he did kill that guy, there was, he was suicidal. Why they put him
I
in
am
rehab?
fully convinced if Colin had not been standing there, he jumps in the river, he's dead.
Yeah.
That's
I thought
it.
that's what they were setting up.
But
And we're going to talk about what we think happens to each of them, but I thought that's what they were setting up there at the end. I
Isn't
thought
it
that's how was
ironic
gonna
though
end.
that he's on the same slow
Yeah.
walk
That his
that the
dad
old man
took.
was on? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that really plays into
Yeah.
they saved him from becoming the old man.
I honestly thought Roman was going to off himself in the.
No, that's what I
ninth
thought was
episode.
going to happen. So let's just do it now since we're doing it. So I thought in the episode, I thought Roman was going to kill himself.
Okay.
Well, I thought that's why he jumped to the masses at the end of the next to last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, see, I thought he was going to do that. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to try to piss somebody off so bad that a gun gets pulled or something happens and he
But
gets
I
killed.
think final scene with Roman, he's sitting at a bar drinking a martini, and he's got that smile, like basically like a weight off.
No,
of me now.
no, I think it completely flipped because
Yeah,
I
I can
think,
do anything I want now.
Yeah, the question I was going to ask you guys is what happens to each character. So I thought Roman was going to commit suicide in the final episode. Actually, I think now the weight of the world's off his shoulders. He's got a ton of money. It's probably going to kill him because he does not make good decisions. But I actually flip around now and think Kendall probably will kill himself.
Yeah.
I think
Kendall
that's
will not
what
live very long. Like I said, if Colin wasn't there, we would have seen him die. Supposedly in filming, they shot that scene a couple times, and he thought, look, I'm going to do this to kind of see what it looks like. And he walked up to like the barrier and kind of hinted like I'm going to go over. But with Colin standing there and that's not how it was written out, that obviously that didn't happen. But if he's even kind of toying with that in his own mind for the character, he ain't going to live very long. But Roman ain't going to live very long either because he's going to turn into a super self-destructive streak.
Yep.
He's happy from like okay, the decision's been made for me. I don't have to run this company. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Clearly, in the back of his mind, he probably knows that I'm not fit to do this, especially with what happened the last couple episodes. But he won't. I don't think be long for this world either.
Most fascinating to me would be what happens with Shiv, because, did she flip just to completely fuck her brother, or did she flip knowing that, well, I'm still married to Tom, and I know Tom. Tom's got this complex relationship with her where he really does love her. She doesn't really care. It really is.
Tom loves her?
I think Tom does.
See, I don't think so,
know.
because she asked on the phone, she would get on the plane to go to her mom's. Yeah. She's like, is there anything here? And he's like, honestly, I don't know if there's anything here
honest
anymore.
to God, I don't know if I do.
Yeah.
And the great line there was, oh, you've finally fallen in love with our schedules matching one another, or whatever it was. Like, I think he realizes she's...
Yeah. I mean, maybe, but I go back to 2 episodes when they're on the rooftop going back and forth. I mean, you could tell how much pain he was in.
Yeah.
Maybe he snapped and was just over. But
he's
most
wanted to make it work.
To me, was going to be Shiv, because Shiv is wired one way, and now she's got to flip. You saw him put his hand down.
That's right. That was the cult being broken to me, is that he puts his hand down. She's got to be submissive and take his hand.
And she kind of does,
right.
But she's not really prepared for it. So, playing this thing out, she's got so much money in the end that she'll probably fuck
Well, yeah,
this,
she's about to be a billionaire, and he's going to, as CEO of the company, he's going to make, hundreds of millions. So they're just going to be this wealthy, loveless couple.
But she still wants to be in a role of power.
Yeah.
And so
Well, she turned into her mom. Her mom, the way her mom was to Logan, like, if when Tom's funeral happens, if there's multiple people sitting there like it was at Logan's funeral, it wouldn't surprise me. But Shiv basically turned, look, I'm the wife of this CEO who doesn't care really about me at all, doesn't care anything. Now, he doesn't have the power Logan had, obviously, because Mattson has the power. But she basically turned into her mom, and she'll go back into politics. She'll go be, a Democratic aide again, like she kind of was. She'll sleep with Nate, I have no doubt again. She'll sleep with Mattson probably at some point. She'll do all that kind of stuff, but they'll stay together for the kid, and the kid will have a miserable life and grow up just as miserable as the three of them
The
did.
Mattson, I don't know if he was just saying that, but Mattson could bang like models from all over the world. I don't know what he would want to do with Shiv.
The power.
Send her some blood.
Just to accomplish it. I bought the company, I can have everything. And then once he does it once, it would be okay.
It wouldn't be like
I read a lot of people saying that Tom wasn't appealing to Shiv until he became basically like her dad.
Yeah.
So he's become CEO of the company now. He's got all the power.
Right.
And that's all she's ever known from a father figure. I mean, she's the ultimate daddy issue female.
That's right.
What do you guys think? Because it came down to, family going to keep it? My brother's going to run it? Or Tom, who has completely dicked me over, he's going to run it. I mean, and Mattson completely fucked her over. So why do you think she made that decision? Was it just the siblings, this self-destruction, they continued it?
I took it personally that Shiv doing that, she felt like she had a better chance with Tom and Mattson to have a major role than with her brothers in charge.
She had constantly been pushed to the side. We're going to have this trio, but it was never. She was never included in it. And that whole thing the whole season really only took place over like a week or two, if you really think about it. That in that time so much happened, but it was constantly, oh no, we're going to bring you into it. Hey, what do you think about this? While like pushing her to the side. No, we're having a meeting. You're technically not CEO, so you got to leave the room. It was always going to be that with her brother, and you could see that even when they chose Kendall as like you're the anointed one, you could still kind of see like, we really don't want to do this, but we feel like we have to. And then at the end, she realized, I don't have to. I know Tom can be it, like you said, and I can still have some of that power.
I think Tom could do a decent job with it, but I think Kendall was, I know he was never supposed to get it, but I think of the three, there's no doubt he was the most qualified.
And isn't it funny, he keeps saying, I'm the oldest son, when really Connor is. But Connor is the one that actually had the oldest son, best relationship with the old man.
Yep.
And the guy who claims to be the oldest son who wasn't, who thinks he was supposed to inherit it, really didn't even know the guy. None of them even know how much, if their dad loved him at all.
So was Kendall, was he like a sperm donor?
Yeah, I couldn't figure that part out.
I think the daughter's adopted and the son was in vitro, I think is what it was.
So wait a minute, Shiv was adopted?
No, I thought you were talking about
Kendall's kids.
Kendall's kids?
Kendall's kids. That's
No,
why
no,
they,
no, 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 no. I'm talking about Kendall. I thought you were
I
talking
thought you were talking about Kendall's kids.
But no, because of what Roman said to him. And then
Was he
pushes
talking
him up-
about his kids?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That he, I think it was sperm donor in vitro for one, adopted for the other, and then so that way Shiv's kid would be the only like actual bloodline kid.
Okay, I got you now. Yeah.
Because that's part of why I think why Ravo was like, look, we're getting out of here. We don't want to be a part of this. Like, they're not actually his grandkids. Like, if you really think about it, like, I mean, technically they are by, legal, but it's not by blood.
Which
so
is
we don't
also
really care.
why I think the end will be poor for Kendall. He's estranged from his family now. He doesn't have the business that drives him.
If he goes and kills himself, what are his kids really going to think? Ravo's not going to think hardly anything, probably.
And as screwed up as this family is, he could think, if I kill myself, at least I'm giving them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a screwed up family. I don't know how we predict what happens.
Okay, so I predict a one-off movie.
do you really?
But I do think, I think they probably wrapped it at the right time. I mean, they could have done another season or two, and I hate that it's gone. But I think there's still such an appetite for it. You could do one of two things. We had Clay on the show today. He was talking about the Greg Tom spinoff, which I think would be really good.
Only problem with that is you got to have Shiv as part of it. I feel like you still have to have too many people as a part of it. You could maybe leave Roman out.
You probably leave Kendall out.
You make it leave Kendall out, but I feel like as long as things are going, he's still going to try to kind of have that eye on it, as long as he's alive.
I think you could have a really good comedy with Carl, Frank, Tom, and Greg.
But Carl and Frank are gone.
Yeah, but you'd have to bring them back in somehow.
And the thing with Roman is, so Jerry's going to stay because Tom really wanted Jerry to stay. So then what happens with that whole lawsuit she was ready to throw on them about, the dick pics she had been getting sent. I would love to see Greg and Tom. I don't know if y'all watch White Lotus or not, but Greg and Tom on a show like White Lotus would be incredible. The dynamic they have, all the sex that's on that show that you could see the Disgusting Brothers, just take over White Lotus. I mean, that would be great to see them in such a different environment.
Well,
than
what would be great
show.
is you could actually get away with bringing them into the White Lotus cast as Tom and Greg.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's like on Scooby-Doo when the Harlem Globetrotters would come on.
That's right.
Yeah, but this would make a lot of sense. I think that's a great idea.
I think you could do, no joke, I think it'd be a dark comedy. I'm not saying like Ted Lasso. I'm saying a dark comedy.
Yeah.
With Tom, Greg, Carl, Frank. Because Carl and Frank have they play off each other so well. They got such a dry sense of humor. They were almost, and this is a little bit of an old school reference. Carl and Frank, to me, in that final season, became the two old men sitting in the balcony.
Right.
In the Muppet Show.
Well, and they were during the Living Plus presentation. They're sitting up there. They really were. They were exactly like that.
I know, and they would just sit around and they were just making observations about everything. And just like the scene when they go to the Alps and they're sitting there in the robes just talking everything over. They were like those two old men in the Muppets to me. And I think you could build a comedy around that. I really do.
You could. A biggest reason I don't think we'll get anything else is part of it is Adam McKay and Will Ferrell split up now. And they were one of the biggest driving forces behind actually making the show happen.
Right.
Adam McKay, I think, only directed the first episode and then kind of just became a producer. And there's still too many ties to too many people to not have basically everybody still be a part of the show. Even though it might not be a Roy show anymore, it might be more about Tom or Greg or whoever. But I feel like there's a lot of things that it's kind of The Sopranos. I know The Sopranos, they stopped because James Gandolfini's dead. You could have done some other stuff. Instead of having the Many Saints of Newark, you move forward and do something in the future. Whether he ultimately got killed at the end or not, I guess that's still up to interpretation for people.
Well, David Chase pretty much.
And I know he's basically come out, but I don't know if that's because he's dead. He's dead in real life, so you can say that, whatever. But this, I feel like you're going to completely ruin whatever you've done if you do anything else. I think.
Even a one-off movie would.
Yeah, and I don't know how you would do it.
It would ruin it.
Would it be like a continuation of it answers some of the questions that were left open? Or?
Yeah, see, I don't know. I mean, the more I think about it, because Deadwood did a one-off, it was no good.
I never even saw it.
El Camino was good, I thought. Did you like it?
It was okay.
It was all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It didn't blow me away.
So I don't know. But
you don't want it to feel like a cash grab by any stretch.
But if I'm ranking my all-time series,
Okay, that was going to be next. So if you rank it all time, this would be where for you?
this is number 3.
Number 3 behind Sopranos.
Sopranos and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Dunaway.
Do him next.
Lunsford.
So my number 1 is Black Mirror, which is totally off the beaten path compared to a lot of different things.
No, Black Mirror would be a top 10 for me.
Black Mirror is incredible. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But but it's such a different show. It's so hard to rank TV shows because with movies you're ranking a 2-hour something. With TV shows you're ranking, I mean, Game of Thrones is, 60, 70, 80 hours worth. I mean, with this you're ranking 40 hours worth. It's so hard to rank.
And
but,
Game of Thrones through 5 seasons was.
and see, for me,
would
the
have been a top
ending,
3.
the ending doesn't ruin what was such an incredible show for so long.
It didn't ruin it. It's still a top 10.
Because here's what I think with Game of Thrones versus Succession. Those are two shows where everybody's saying who's gonna basically be on the throne at the end, who's gonna be in charge, and everybody had it built. This is my thing with Game of Thrones. Everybody had it built so much in their mind that it's going to be X person. Like, me and Tim went around. I don't know if you remember this. We were at a Barons game for Jocks one time. We went around and asked every single employee that was there from all of our different stations who ends up on the throne. I don't think a single person said the same person. We probably asked 20 people, and not a single person said the same person.
The only problem is they got that completely wrong. Like, I don't think Succession got it wrong.
But nobody said Bran either. So I think people say,
but it was such a bad choice.
I think it should be Jon Snow, but if it's not him, it should be X, Y, or Z person. But when it wasn't even X, Y, or Z person, that's what pissed everybody off. With this, I feel like a lot of people had Tom. Like, you thought it was going to be Tom anyway, maybe by a different angle. I kind of thought it could be Tom by a different angle. Then it didn't really piss everybody off. So that's why this stuck the landing a little more. But I've seen plenty of people that weren't happy with it because, I thought Kendall would get it. Well, he didn't get it, so I'm pissed off with the way it went. So I can see people being pissed off at it. But overall, I'd probably still put Game of Thrones above this. And for me, it's hard to not count like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad together. Like, I look at it as the same show, basically. Just, you have 11 seasons or 12 seasons, however many it is total. That I would probably put it ahead. I'd probably put Game of Thrones still ahead, and then this would probably be 4th for me.
I will say, by the way, one of the most powerful scenes of the whole finale was when Tom tells her, "You should know it's me." And she spins around and storms back into the room where they're in there and says, "It's Tom. It's that MF for Tom."
Yeah.
I mean, that was so powerful, man. She's a good actress. I really like her. I don't know what else she'll do after this, but I like her. I think she's a good actress. I know this is not going to be popular. I definitely have Breaking Bad in front of it. I would still put Ozark in front of it. I loved Ozark.
Oh, I did like Ozark.
See, I think Ozark's ending was not good.
I watched one season of Ozark and I was out.
Yeah, I loved Ozark.
I thought it was good.
The way I rank it is, now Ozark was, you could binge it. You couldn't binge this. But I was more excited about a new episode of Ozark than I was about a new episode of Succession. That's the only thing I would say. So I think I might have Succession 3rd. I think I'd have Breaking Bad 1, Ozark 2, Succession 3rd.
I'm okay going Succession number 1.
You'd put it number 1 all the time, huh? What's it pass for you?
Well, I mean, Ozark's there, Game of Thrones is there.
I like Mad Men too.
I love Mad Men. Mad Men may be my number 2.
Yeah.
Last year was rough. See, that's the thing I liked about this is that
There was never a bad season.
it never got stale.
Well,
I will say HBO typically, I feel like HBO gets to a point where they drag things out too much. Like Game of Thrones, the last seasons weren't 10 episodes. They started shortening them down. We don't want to spend as much money on this. We don't want to have as many episodes. We don't want to drag it out. The Leftovers was a show that could have easily been my number 1, but it totally bombed the ending, and they shrunk it down the last season to so many episodes, and I think that's part of why it bombed. With this, they did that with season 3. If you remember, it was only 9 episodes. It was 10, 10, 9, 10 for the episodes, and I thought they were about to do that with Succession, but I think they realized this show's so stinking good, we got to give it a full 10 episode run, and they did, and that's what saved this.
Yeah, but they were smart enough to do extended episodes on the last 2. What was a $1.20 and then a buck?
Yeah, it's an hour and a half, or the last one.
Yeah, which was smart on their part.
Yeah.
They didn't like tack on. They just said, okay, let's go extended episodes.
Yeah, let's get it done.
Yeah. Oh, so number 1 for Dunaway, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I said this on the
But he never
Ozark
saw
one.
Sopranos or
But
Breaking Bad.
I've seen The Sopranos since. I never finished Breaking Bad. Sopranos is up there too.
Well, if you didn't finish Breaking Bad, then, I mean, that speaks for itself. If you're not hooked enough to finish it, this would be number 1.
Sopranos, I didn't watch it in real time. Remember, I watched it. I don't remember if it was during the pandemic or what, but watched it where I could binge the whole thing and loved Sopranos.
Yeah.
So that'd be top 5 for me. Never seen The Wire.
Need to see The Wire.
Yeah. And I like a lot of crappy stuff you guys don't like Entourage and West Wing and some of that stuff. But no, I have no problem with this being number 1 at all. And like I was about to say, I think I probably said the same thing when we did this for Ozark. I probably said at the moment, I think that's my number 1 of all time. So I'm always a creature of in the moment.
Prisoner of the moment.
Yeah, but
right?
like I almost think this is my number 1 comedy because it's almost a really dark comedy, and I know it's under the drama genre.
Well, I still say
But I laugh more than.
I know one of the hardest laughs I've had this entire series was when it's on election night when Greg's eating the sushi and the pollster guy moves it out of the way and gets wasabi on his finger. So they're like, pour water in it. And he pours the LaCroix in there. You poured lemon water. And he goes, it's just a taste of lemon. It's a hint of lemon. God, he's so good. The writing for Greg was so good.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is. I laugh some.
Yeah, that's the one character that I do want to see more of in some way, form, or fashion.
You know, it's pretty rare, though, that they did a series, so 40 episodes, right?
39.
39 episodes.
Where did they short one?
Season 3, it was 9 episodes.
Okay.
So 39 episodes, no nudity, nobody got killed,
Nope.
no sex scene.
No main characters got killed.
Well, that's true. You had the one death. That was the only death, though, right? Other than
The
Logan
bartender?
dying. Yeah, the wreck with
But nobody
Kendall.
got killed themselves, something like that.
Yeah.
Like Logan's was like
I mean,
natural.
that's pretty uncommon. I mean, I got to give them credit for that. You don't like lean on a sex scene or something like that. That is
It
pretty
was
uncommon this
going
age.
into the end. Like we talked about, Roman's going to eventually die, or we thought he was going to kill himself. Kendall's going to kill himself. Going in, as much as that got brought up, I started thinking about that. I was like, but nobody's done that. Like Game of Thrones, you expected it to happen. Like somebody's going to kill themselves.
Breaking Bad.
Like Breaking Bad, Ozark. Those kind of shows you expect people to die. It's
Yeah.
about drugs or dragons. Somebody's going to get eaten. This didn't happen.
Episode 1 when
Kendall had sex with his ex-wife, but they didn't show anything.
yeah,
And then when,
Rogan cleans the window in the office. That's
Yeah.
not, you don't count that as a sex scene in season 1.
yeah, and then when they went
I forgot about that.
2 times bachelor party Prague,
Yeah.
I mean,
There's references, but
well, I mean, Tom swallowed his own load.
Oh, there's a million. Yeah.
Well, there's
verbal
references through the
of
whole
things,
show.
Yeah, but you're saying they didn't have the gratuitous.
yeah, I'm just saying the gratuitous sex
Yeah.
scene, the gratuitous violence. You just didn't really have
Last
it.
season, as much as Mattson talked about, like with Ebba, there's all kind of things you could have shown. They didn't show anything.
And I know
so.
people would say the language, but
Well, the language was awful.
but that's
there's
just
no other way around it.
that's how that I guess that class talks.
My thing with that is that's real life.
That is real life.
Like, anytime anybody complains about there's too many F-bombs or anything, like Ted Lasso's that way. Like Ted Lasso's like the ultimate feel-good show, and it's constant F-bombs all the time. But it's like that's just real life.
Yep. Yeah.
People just actually when you're in the locker room, you actually talk like that. When you're in the boardroom, you actually talk like that. Like that's real life. So I never have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, just in real life, how many times do you get a fuck you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking about and we've worked in an industry where we're on microphones the whole time. How many times do we have to keep from saying that on the microphone? Now we don't have to worry about it as much here, but like in radio, you cut constantly off the air. And the minute that microphone turns on, I got to remember to have that filter on. I mean, every single segment. So in real life, even in our industry, it's nonstop.
But I
And
mean,
that's just
some
the
of
way it
the
is.
funniest moments were because some of the things they said that were
Yeah.
so inappropriate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved it. Gonna miss it.
Yeah. Me too.
So, it's over now. All right, that is our Mystery Fifth Hour. It is presented by McCurry Van and Car Rentals. If you need the car, van, or truck, rent from McCurry. McCurry Van and Car Rentals, the local rental company you can depend on. They got all kinds of vehicles to choose from. It includes trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it easy to rent. They get you in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003. Or visit McCurryRentals.com. Make sure to please give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. That is very helpful to us. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that and set your alerts so you know when we're live. That's every weekday 9 to 1. We do a lot of other things live too that you'll get alerts on. And follow us on all social media at Next Round Live. That's at Next Round Live. Thank you for joining us.
Can I bring one more point up?
Oh, yeah.
One more point, sorry.
That's good
But
timing for you.
I think this was an important moment. So Shiv leaves the boardroom at 6:06. So apparently she is very torn. And so when Ken goes in there to chase her and then Roman comes in and then she brings up the murder, you can't be, because you're a murderer.
Right.
Do you think that she had that was kind of her trump card? Or do you think more when Ken said, look, I really didn't do this? Like, do you think because that would be such an extraordinary story to tell to win points with them that she was like, that was the breaking point? That's when she knew.
That's right. He would, if he didn't do it, and he's made us feel like it, we'll never be able to trust this. Like you saw the way
Because Romo was like, it's a no now. Like
That's right.
Roman,
Roman
if
was
he would have
like-
known that before, he would have voted no.
That's right.
Or voted yes.
Are you
for
kidding me,
the
man? Are you kidding me?
Did you think anything about that?
I almost feel like had he said yes, but look, it was an accident. If he had just like admitted it instead of being like, oh no, I'd made all that up, that they would have been more inclined to be on his side. If he like, look, just admit the truth. Like, okay, maybe I'm not the right choice for CEO, but let's still get the company and let's figure it out.
Well, I just thought it was one more lie, that last lie that was the death knell.
Also, small little thing. One thing I didn't like is they built up that vote so much, and there's like 3 or 4 of those board members that you have no idea
Never
about.
seen.
That you've
Yeah,
never seen
exactly.
before.
And there's no character development to know why they're voting yes or no. Like
Frank, we knew that he got paid off.
yeah, I mean, Frank, it wasn't a surprise, but then you have no clue why that one woman, I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
now.
well, see, you
That's how
can't remember their
insignificant
names
she was.
because I'm also sitting there thinking like, well, was Adrian Brody? Remember, he's like a huge investor, or whatever. But I was like, was he a board member? When they say a name, I was like, was he a board member? No. Like Stewie, some of these other people like Sandy, them. But you're sitting there trying to think like, who are the people?
by the way,
they
the
show in the
most-
boardroom. I don't know who these people are.
I'm with you.
The most underutilized character in the entire series was Stewie.
Stewie, 100%.
Yeah, like Stewie, I wouldn't mind seeing a show on Stewie. One of his last lines he said was, I like weird sex and bad drugs.
I like kissing guys on Molly.
But I mean, that was so good. But Stewie was just fascinating. Every time he was in that show, it was like he was a scene stealer. And I just didn't know why we didn't get more.
He had so much power because they had to go to him get money and stuff like that. And it's like for this dude to be that powerful,
and he never did anything.
He never did anything. Yeah. But that's one complaint. We
And
talk
I
about
loved
going
it.
out.
The last line he ever had was, "I'm going with my boy Ken, Team Ken."
Team Ken.
Yeah, which backfired.
Didn't work.
But
I never feel sorry for any of them. They all got massive amounts of money.
Well, I mean, the kids. That's the thing with the kids. I've seen different numbers thrown out there, but it's almost like with the added value of ATN once they bought it, it was like $15 billion, something like that. The kids are getting. I mean, it's a stupid amount of money
you think?
each, based on the percentage
Connor
that
too?
they had.
No, Connor doesn't get. He wasn't a shareholder. I mean, he wasn't a
I don't know
majority
what
shareholder.
he got, but as far as those 3 that you're really worried about, that it's like they got billions there.
Yeah, but Connor probably got a bundle when his dad died, just in the in the will.
He has enough to buy a $65 million penthouse apartment in New York.
Start cleaning it out. And when Willie goes, I'm gonna get a cow pattern couch that's like going. But the best part with Willa was when
Shiv.
Maybe you won't be president, and then you won't get the ambassadorship. And it occurs to her that she may be stuck with Connor
Which
now.
means you get more time with him.
Yeah, the look on her
Connor's like,
face.
yay, and she's like, damn it.
Willa. She is a really good character too.
Yeah.
That's a pretty underutilized character. She's just so flighty and airheaded and clearly not in love with Connor. She just wants the money.
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't it? Didn't he say, "Do you love me?" And she goes, "Maybe I'll learn to love you," or something like that. That one episode.
Yeah. I'm surprised I got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
also
remember
surprised they
he
didn't get
did
married.
say that one episode that he's never been loved, so he's used to it. He's kind of conditioned to
It's
it.
so sad.
Poor
man.
Connor.
What a terrible family.
Terrible family, man.
We asked this on the show one day, and I don't think you weighed in because I think we all agreed. I wouldn't take their life for that money by any stretch of the
Oh, I
imagination.
would, 100%.
You would?
Yes.
You would take that misery for $15 billion?
I would figure out the misery. I
don't know.
I
You
wouldn't be that
can't.
miserable.
You can't figure it out.
I can't legitimately just sit here and answer that question quickly. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, you answered it quickly the first day I asked it. You said there's no way you would take it.
I mean, when you start talking about cutting up $15 billion a piece,
Is it worth having just an awful childhood and not being able to have, none of them have a working relationship at all, period?
a lot of people had shitty childhoods and they don't get $15 billion.
They do, but do you want that childhood? The money's not worth it.
A lot of people have shitty relationships and don't get 15.
Not one good one. You don't have one good relationship.
It makes you harden, though, in life to be able to handle certain
But
things.
imagine not having one good relationship in life. Like, give me one good relationship any of them have.
No, I mean, you're right.
Not one person has a good relationship in the whole deal.
No.
I don't think that's worth $15 billion, man. What a miserable way to live life.
I take Greg's life, though.
He's making $200,000. He's not even getting
Greg
money.
has a lot of power right now.
I'd take Stewie's life.
Would you? You don't know anything about
I
him.
don't.
He's got money, though.
He's always smiling.
And you do not like to
got
kiss
power.
men on Molly, though. You do not.
No, I would not do that. What do you say? You're more simple than you think. You like to. It was something before the Molly. God, it was such a good line.
All right, can I wrap up now? We're
Yes.
good?
That was bonus coverage.
That was bonus coverage. That's bonus thoughts from Lance there in the Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. Still give us a thumbs up, still subscribe, still set your alerts, and still follow us at Next Round Live. And still, thank you for joining us on the Mystery Fifth Hour.